This is a rando wrap with Kill the Sheikah. This entire link to the Past Randomizer wrapped up in under 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and dig on in. So first I start my profile, the usual name as always. First thing I find immediately is the ether medallion. So then we go through, we see we have our dungeons, we got pendant for desert, we have a green pendant for Eastern Palace, and then we have a crystal for the Tower of Hera. It's amazing I even remembered to check. Next thing I found was a hammer in the bottom of the well, and then a cane in the chicken house, followed by powder and gloves at home. So now we head up to Moldorm Cave, and I have trouble. So I died. I go back. I try my best. This hammer is best thing I got. And I died. But hey, third time's a charm, right? This time I do have the wherewithal to switch from hammer to bombs, because bombs give me a little bit of distance. Look at that, I did it. All for heart, arrows, and a blue nick. Heck yeah! We also found a bloomerang in the ice spot. Uncle gave me his mirror. He's a little vain. We found a net in the castle. And then we go all the way through Eastern Palace, find a French vanilla bow, along with a shield, which is very handy. It'll help later on. But then I died after I got through the dark rooms. But then this Armos fight with the knights was not too bad. We had our bows, so we fought, and we won! Alright, green pendant down. We bring that to Sarasala. He has nothing. We find a cape and a lantern in the sewage passageways. And then I go to the Dark World to check out my situation, which is crystals in Skull Woods, in Blind's Hideout, in Turtle Rock, and in Ice Palace. Red crystals in Swamp Palace and Dark Palace, and Misery Mire is just my last pendant. Moving right along, we find my Strength 2 in the desert. The old man gives me my fire rod. I go through the Tower of Hera, don't find any items in particular, and fight the Moldorm King with just a hammer. This is not the easiest thing to do without a sword, and therefore I fell off once. But then the second fight went much better. I made it, I did it, I won. I made it, I did it, I won. I got a map. So I got my first crystal. And I ran back into Tower of Hera because there was one item left and all I got was a small key. So I went to check and I died. Second time I had the wherewithal to put my cane block in front of me and not to the side of me, trying to throw it out of the blocks. There was nothing there. I went down Spiral Cave and found my first sword, along with half magic ice rod. On the upper floor of Paradox, I find my Moon Pearl. So I go to Turtle Rock to find out I can get inside, and I'm not happy about it because I only have a small fighter sword. But I did find those Pegasus boots along with another shield. And then Mimic Cave didn't give me much, but then I went through and I found my hook shot. But my Turtle Rock fight did not go well with just my fighter sword. I did my best, and the floor got really icy. I'm switching between items like crazy. I'm using my hammer. I'm dodging his throws, but then I died. One try was enough for that, so I decided to just move right along. To the Dark World, where I find my first bottle in a game, I find the flute in the sea shop, and then I go back to the Light World because those items are used right here in Kakariko. The Sick Kid gives me a bee, the Mad Batter gives me another tunic, Blind's Hideout is pretty empty until I get to Blind's, and I do the fight, which... This fight is great because all you need is a sword. You just gotta hit him 9 times. It doesn't matter how strong your sword is. So I fought and I fought and I fought. And I won! I got my silvers in that fight and another crystal. Heck yeah! Let's go! So moving right along, we go to the Dark Palace and find a mushroom. We go through nothing. And so I go and I fight Helmasaur King, that is. Pretty easy to fight with the hammer as long as you're holding your sword in a spin attack ready move. And then I hit him with a silver arrow and then he died and I won and I got a map and a crystal. Dun 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 dun. Oh wait, this is not Final Fantasy. So I move right along. I go through Skull Woods. Skull Woods doesn't have much. It only has 2 checks. The butterfly is trans colors today, which is nice. We support our trans allies. And I won, and I got the boss key. So I go back to check the chest after this, but there's not a whole lot in it as far as I recall. So we just kind of move right along, and I found my book on the first dig in the dig game. I found flippers in Hype Cave, so I go to Swamp Palace. I do this little trick so I can skip both needing the hammer and a key and just go on through, but then I ended up needing that key later anyway. But I found the Master's Sword, so on to the fight. We hook shot and we hit, and we hook shot and we hit, we hook shot and we hit, and we forget we have our Peggy boots sometimes, but we hook shot and we hit, and we hook shot and we hit, and then I just get ready to hit this guy with a bow, and it took a few tries. I don't have great aim, but we have had all of our bottles. We got 2 of them just here in the palace. So on we move. We go through Desert Palace. We find our sword outside of Desert Palace. We move on to ice. We use Icebreaker because that's a lot nicer. And then we go through, we don't really find any items, but then we fight the boss. We don't have bombos, so we have to just go ahead and do a fire rod, which I used a little bit more than I needed to with half magic, but we just spin attack. We have level 3 sword at this fight. Spin, 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 and I win a compass. Another crystal. Let's go. Moving along. We go back to Turtle Rock, round 2, try next. I'm here to fight. Alright, so this time we have level 3 sword, which is just as strong as the hammer and a hell of a lot easier to use. I didn't even make ice happen, so you can't make me slip Trinox. Down you go. Alright, Trinox is an Onyx now, and I'm trying to fight. I kept missing. I missed many times, but I was playing it safe. It's a good fight to play safe, because when you play safe, sometimes you win. And I got a piece of heart that time. And another crystal! And that is my last crystal. So now we run over to Ganon's Tower. We make the crystals dance. I couldn't go right at first because that's where I had my... I didn't have any keys that way. But hey, we found a couple extra items. We fight the Armos Knights. We finally find the boss key. So we go up the stairs. We get through out here. We fight all of the vanilla game pendant dungeon monsters. This next Moldorm King does not go completely poorly. I don't think I fell off once. I didn't. Aghanim's not bad at all. We swing swords. We swing balls. We swing at the 3-on-1. And then I had not the best fight of my life, but this fight went so well. It was going extremely well. I barely needed anything. I barely got hit. And then we're fighting. We don't get hit by bats too much, but a little bit for sure. And he's jumping around. He's knocking the floor down. And then I had this moment where I'm fighting him. I had 1 hit left. He's invisible. I light the torch. And soon as I light this torch, he appears where I'm standing, knocking me off, causing me to have to restart the frickin' fight. So down I go into my misery, knowing I have to do this fight again. Okay, so off we go. We do the fight. Back up the pyramid. This time I'm not gonna fall. I'm gonna pay attention to where that bat's coming from. I'm gonna pay attention to my timing on the bat. I didn't even bother to get more fairies. I just got a little bit of a heal from 1 fairy outside, and I didn't even bottle it. But yeah, that hook shot gives me iframes, so the bats can't hurt me nearly as often if I'm sending the hook shot long. And so this time I'm being extra careful, and I fight, and I fight, and I fight, and I fight! And I won. This whole one took a little over 2.5 hours, but that was the wrap on this Link to the Past Rando.